Welcome to Public Global. I am Jalil Rathore from Srinagar. As you all know, that Ladakh region is on boil these days after the violent clashes between the protesters and the police in Leh Sti, wherein four persons were killed, at least four persons were killed, and more than 100 were injured. These people were demanding statehood for Ladakh region and granting this sixth schedule. And as you all know, this was part of sixth schedule was part of granting sixth schedule was part of the BJP manifesto when the state of Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated into two regions, that is Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. But Ladakhis have been persistently asking for the fulfillment of that promise, which has not been fulfilled, and ultimately they chose the way of protest. And we have seen that over the years, the climate activist Sonam Wangchuk has sat on hunger strike many times, and this time there was a fresh call for hunger strike on 10th of September. But unfortunately, of the 2 or 3 days before, two elderly people who were, participating in the hunger strike got their condition got, deteriorated, and they were shifted to hospital. And this, angered the youth, and they took to the streets, and ultimately, a violence broke out between the police and the protesters, and in between, the arson also took place, and the BJP office in Leh was burned by the protesters, and also some police vehicles were also damaged. The reason behind the present unrest is in public domain that I have told you. However, we will try to visit the history of the sensitive region, now a united territory, which till 1947 was part of princely Dogra state and till 5th August 2019 was part of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state. In 1931, when an uprising against the Dogra rule and the Maharaja Hari Singh under the leadership of Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah started in Kashmir. This is in the backdrop of the events that took place in 1931 outside Srinagar jail, wherein more than 22 protesters were, killed by Dogra forces in a fighting incident. And after that, a movement started in Kashmir by the name of Quit Kashmir. And this was, led by the late Prime Minister of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state, and then the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah. When the unrest started in Kashmir, British Sarkar formed a commission, namely Glancy Commission, on 31st October 1931 to look into the grievances of the people. The commission assembled on 20th November in the same year. In November 1932, Glancy Commission recommended the establishment of a legislative assembly for the state called Praja Sabha, with a total number of members, which was 75, with 15 official representatives, 33 elected representatives, and the remaining seats would be held by the people nominated by the Maharaja. Of the 33 elected seats, 21 were reserved for Muslims on the basis of population ratio, 10 for Hindus, and 2 for Sikhs. While some Hindus thought of boycotting the commission as they felt that the recommendations were unfavorable to their community, the Buddhists of Ladakh felt that the commission had failed them to give them a representation in Praja Sabha. Disappointed with the commission, Ladakhi Buddhists formed an association by the name of which they called Ladakh Buddhist Association. The foundation was led by, it was in 1933. It was founded by King Jingbe Dadul Namgyal along with 5 other members, founders. It's worthwhile to mention that the founders included a Kashmiri Pandit. Siridhar Kaul, also known as Pandit Dolu. The initiative led to establishment of Young Man's Buddhist Association in 1934, which was later renamed again as Ladakh Buddhist Association. The objective of the association was to look after the interests of Ladakhi Buddhists, bringing social reforms in the society, and to preserve art, culture, language, and traditions of Ladakh. Despite Kargil being an important and large part of the region, had no representation in this association because Kargil was predominantly a Muslim majority region. Perhaps because Ladakhi Buddhists considered the Muslims of Kargil no different from the people of Kashmir, forgetting that Ladakh did not comprise of only Leh, but Kargil was also an integral part of the region. The real problem began in 1947 when tribals invaded Jammu and Kashmir, as a result of which United Nations Security Council passed a resolution in favor of plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir. The then chairman of Ladakh Buddhist Association, Chawang Rigzin, wrote to Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru asking him for excluding Ladakh from any plebiscite arrangement. After the formation of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh state, uh, I'm talking about Jammu and Kashmir state. After the formation, after the independence, 4 seats were reserved for Ladakh region in state assembly and one in parliament, and perhaps two more seats in the upper house. Uh, Throughout the history of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir, there were always, representation of Ladakhis in the state cabinet also. After the formation, what happened? Uh, Apart from this type of an representation, the people of Ladakh were given reservation in jobs, in addition to huge subsidies, and region was almost tax-free. Despite many types of favors that people of Ladakh enjoyed, they still considered themselves ignored, which could have been true to some extent, but not a reason enough to rear feelings of secession from the state. Ladakh Buddhist Association, meanwhile, demanded direct rule from Delhi with its merger with East Punjab at Jammu. They began a fight for internal autonomy, demanding Ladakh Affairs Ministry, headed by an MLA from the region, which was rejected by the state government in 1980. The things took bad shape in 1989. With the inception of militancy in Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakhis felt it a threat for themselves, and their demand for separation from the state government got a communal color. Subsequently, they announced a boycott against Muslims in 1989, and this boycott culminated at communal clashes and a drive against Kashmiri people to push them out of Leh. Even the taxis and trucks belonging to Kashmiris were not allowed to enter into Leh. Their persistent demand for UT status for Ladakh and communal divide got momentum during this period. The center intervened here and created an autonomous hill council for both Leh and Kargil directly, and which was named Ladakh Autonomous Hill Council, after which Ladakh Buddhist Association lifted the boycott of Muslims in 1992. Now, moving beyond that, Ladakhis have always been, demanding a UT status for Ladakh, and we all know that somewhere they were very close to the Hindutva forces like RSS and BJP, uh, and they were, always trying to, incite them for the demand of a separate duty for Ladakh. When in 2019, Article 370 was abrogated and the state was bifurcated into two union territories. Ladakh is, celebrated that abrogation, and they had been given this promise that the area will be given the status of sixth schedule. But more than 6 years having passed, this demand has not been fulfilled as yet. This has irked Ladakhis, and under the leadership of the climate activist Sonam Wangchuk, they started a movement. They started a protest movement demanding, fulfillment of their, the promises of the central government, which had been made to them. Not only that, initially they were demanding a UT status. Now they started demanding a statehood for this Ladakh region, which center does not seem to be fulfilling. Uh, Center has no mood, as so far as I have seen, that center has no mood to, you know, give either the sixth schedule or the statehood status to Ladakh. There are so many reasons. One reason, the analysts feel that maybe center is not willing to give statehood to Jammu and Kashmir in near future, and if Ladakh is being given a statehood before that, this will, create problems for center, and the demand for statehood for Kashmir will gain more momentum. And logically, also, they are bound if a small place like, well, I mean to say, a small population of Ladakhis are being given a statehood. Why not people of Jammu and Kashmir, who form the major chunk of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state? In addition to that, we all know that this area is rich in minerals. This area has low population, and area-wise, it was the bigger part of the erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir. Another thing which is pertinent to note is that the sunshine lasts for 300 days in Ladakh region, which paves a way for solar energy, and it has lot of potential for creating solar energy. The Solar Energy Corporation of India has undertaken a project to create 3 gigawatts of power in the area, and these projects are already under consideration, and 13 gigawatts. This 13 gigawatts need a large chunk of thousands of hectares of land to put these panels, solar panels. And then also they have gold, they have rare earth minerals, they have limestone. And if Ladakh gets a statehood, or if it is being given, granted sixth schedule, they will have a say over the issues of, all the issues of Ladakh, which will perhaps create hurdles for the central government to, allot contracts for the generation of power and other things, and which is in the public domain, which are the companies which are dealing in power sector and other major sectors. So Ladakhis feel insecure that their land may be taken, their jobs may be taken, and their identity is under threat, which has created a lot of fear among the Ladakhis, and that is the reason that Ladakhis are on roads. One thing which is very positive is that after the formation of UT, and even before that, Ladakhis, came across. Uh, for integration with the Kargil region, and both the regions are demanding together, and the divide which was there previously is not present over there, and fortunately the region has not replicated what happened in Manipur, which is a positive thing. La- Pertinent to note, Kargil people, they were perhaps knowing that what will happen to the area if it is declared a UT. So, and Article 370 is abrogated. So they were not supporting the abrogation of Article 370. However, now when the both regions are a UT now, they have come together and they are demanding sixth schedule for Ladakh, and in addition to that, they are asking for for statehood. Uh, but central government is in no mood. Till now, we have seen that they are in no mood to grant these positions to Ladakhis. Ladakhis are frustrated, and now they have come on roads. And we in Kashmir feel that it is in the interest of all the regions, particularly this region, which is very sensitive region as far as being a border area, that these demands should be considered at the earliest before the things go out of hand. Thank you very much. That was all for today. We'll be meeting soon again. Thank you.